So what we have here is a 2007, I believe, Malibu. What we're going to be doing today is wheel bearings and brakes on this. I'll go through and show you guys what to look for wheel bearings, how to look at your brakes kind of things, but I really don't think these wheel bearings need to be replaced. I just think the guy just bought the vehicle, wants to replace them, he's got extra money. So I think these wheel bearings are actually good, but he wants them changed anyway. And we'll go through the whole car. We're going to put snow tires on it and everything. So now that we have the car up, we're going to check the bearings. So you just want to check it from side to side, up and down. I'm not really feeling a whole lot wrong with it, but like I said, he wants them changed. He's ordered the parts. He says he hears a noise in them. So when we take it apart, we're going to do all the bearings, we're going to do all the brakes, check everything for anything loose, anything that's got movement, ball joints, tie rods, and see what the issue is. But I don't really feel anything wrong with the actual bearing inside this car, but we're still going to change it for him.
You want me to record?
No, it's already recorded.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do the brakes on this car, and I think I've talked him out of the wheel bearings, but I'll show you that reason later. So first thing we're going to do is remove the tire. Just like so. Do not lose lug nuts. Do not lose bolts. Gotta tell myself that every time. Put stuff down, walk away. It's like that elusive 10mm socket. You'll never find her once you put her down. So, tires off. First tool we need is a 13mm. Just gonna take off the caliper. Do not lose the bolts, do not lose the tools. Oh, this one's giving me a little bit of difficulty. I need to get a wrench to put on the slider because the slider is actually sticking. So this might show us another problem that's actually starting to happen on this car. I grabbed me 11/16 to hold the slider while I undo the bolt. So I think I'm going to have to lube this slider up a bit. So if you guys are wondering, it's 11/16 to hold the square slider. 3/4 would probably work, but 11/16 fits really nicely. So now that we got the two bolts out, we're going to get a giant zip tie. We're going to pull off the caliper and we're going to zip tie it up to the strut. Now the reason why you zip tie it up to the strut is because you don't want the weight of the caliper on the actual brake line, because it could make problems, right? So less problems, less problems. So we're just going to pull the caliper up, zip tie her together, like so. Up and out of my way now. Now we're going to pull off our brake pads, get those out of the way. Now, the bolts that hold on the actual caliper bracket are 15mm bolts. So what we're going to go do, we're going to switch out our socket to a 15mm because we were using 19mm to take off the rims inside of the tires. There's one. There's two. So now you can take off the caliper bracket. Don't lose the bolts. Let's check out the condition of these sliders. That one's good. That one's good. Now, you know what? They were giving me a little bit of issues, but they both look pretty good. Maybe it's because they're so well lubricated they were just sliding on themselves. Now, there's one last thing to pull the disc off on this, and that is a T27 Torx bit. The T27 will undo this Torx set. Now, do not use Allen keys on this. You will strip it. If you strip this, you're going to have a hard time. Some of the ones that I've actually done for other buddies, theirs have been stripped, and what I have to do is I have to take a drill and actually drill it out. And that's not fun. So with that Torx bit out and off to the side, ta-da! disc comes off. Now that we have everything out of there, I'm going to do a quick check. I'm going to check all his bushings, his front control arm bushing, his ball joints, his control arm bushing on the back side, sway bar, tie rod bushings. I'm going to basically check for anything that catches my eye to be a problem, any rust, anything that looks like it's not there, anything that's broken, damaged, and I'm not seeing anything. So I'm pretty happy with that. What we're going to do now is we're going to install the new disc. Now, I'm going to clean the back side, just with some brake clean. Cleaning the back side because the back side is hard to get at once it's on there. And what you want to do is you want to install it so that you can reinstall the Torx, like so. And once all that's back in, you haven't lost the Torx bolt, I hope. Throw that back in there. Tighten her down. Just like so. And then once the disc is on, clean the front of the disc. Now the reason why you guys clean the discs is because, where did I put my rag? Right here. The reason to clean the discs is they put an oil on these discs when they ship them, so then in that way they don't rust, because nobody wants to buy rusty parts. So by just doing that, you take the oil off and don't damage your brake pads. We're going to reinstall the bracket now. You guys haven't lost those bolts, have you? I didn't. Gonna get a question from a lot of you guys asking how tight did I put those, and the answer is 2 kajiggas. Install the brake pads. Make sure that these things are lubricated, the brake pads are going smoothly, that there's no issues installing the brake pads into them. It should just go in nice and smooth. Just like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to compress your piston and your calipers. This is very easily, and you don't introduce any air to the system. So by not introducing any air, you don't have to re-bleed it. All you have to do is make sure the cap to your brake master is off, so that there's no pressure buildup and nothing like that. So let's get a pair of wire cutters. We're going to cut this zip tie. Going to cut the zip tie. Oh, there we go. Wire cutters are getting near the end of their life apparently. We're going to turn the caliper bracket the caliper upside down. Install an old brake pad, not a new one, an old one. And now what you do is you just take a C-clamp, go on the back side. Now be careful when you do this because there's a lot of stuff that you can crush on the back side, causing damage. So I choose a nice fixed point. There's specialty tools you guys can buy to do this, but honestly, I don't have them. So we're just going to compress the pistons back inside the caliper nice and easily. Now we're using an old brake pad for this because it doesn't matter if you damage the old brake pads. Do not use the new brake pads. Just like that. Done. Both of them are compressed. We're going to check out the booties on both of the pistons. Make sure there's no cracks in the pistons, everything like that. Another thing, make sure the brake pads are installed the correct way. Don't laugh. I've seen so many photos on Facebook on those mechanic engineer videos that make me laugh that people install the brake pads backwards. Do not install them backwards. Reinstall your disc. Like so. Did you guys lose the bolts? I didn't lose the bolts. And now this goes back to 13 mil. Just tighten it up. Now you don't want to have these too tight, because you will strip them and break them. You'll thank me next time you go to do your brakes and they're not super tight. Now, when you do your brakes like this and you fully compress the piston calipers, the first time you touch the brakes, you're probably not going to have any brakes. So when you get in the vehicle, leave it in park, pump the brakes 2 or 3 times, make sure you got fluid back to the calipers so that you actually have brakes. Well, there you go. Brakes are done on this side. All the bushings are good, everything's great. All we got to do now is put our snow tires back on. Well, put the snow tires on. We have all the snow tires put on the car. We did not do the front wheel bearings. And the reason for that is he bought them, but I found the issue. The issue was a back wheel bearing. Can you hear that? So he is going to store the front wheel bearings for when they do go, because it's GM, they will go. And he is going to buy a rear wheel bearing, and we're going to do the rear bearings on this probably in the next month or so, maybe even in the spring if he can hold off. So, thanks everybody for watching. Front brakes were done on this car, and I was wrong. This is a 2013 apparently. So we're going to get it out of the shop and get it back on the road.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah. He just started the car up. He's going to brakes a couple times. Brake, 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 brake when it's in park. Make sure we got fluid down at the calipers. And then he's going to give it a go-ahead. Let's see if he can drive this thing out of here. Beautiful. Brakes. Nice.
Thanks again, Zach.
No problem. Look at the snow's gripping into that snow already. Have a great day.